Alright, here goes nothing. Hey guys, it's probably the first time you guys have heard my voice for a lot of you, and that's because I've gotten 200 more subscribers from one video. I honestly can't thank you guys enough, and for larger creators, it sounds small, but for a little baby creator like me, it's pretty crazy. You guys are awesome for letting me have that. Anyway, the new viewers are probably very confused right now, so I'll start the video. Pokémon has been one of the largest game franchises since a while ago. However, Brawlers, on the other hand, is a relatively new game that's been out for about 8 years and has attracted millions of players in the last year. So how about we make Pokémon based on Brawlers from Brawl Stars? Let's get into it. We start with Bonnie. Bonnie's not an insanely popular brawler, since she only got somewhat viable recently because of her hypercharge, but her concept does work well with the Pokemon, in my eyes. Since she jumps out of a cannon for her super, I think it was only right to make her a kangaroo. And just so I don't make a kangaroo with Bonnie's colors, I added little cannons instead of arms so that she could shoot herself up just like in her super using her air cannons. I made it a little bit more kangaroo-like, and here is the normal flying type Bongaroo from Bonnie and Kangaroo. However, this Pokemon will not be left alone as it does evolve. Later on, I'll reveal Bongaroo's evolution. Next is Fang, which is based on a pretty unique animal called the Binturong. It's known for smelling, oddly enough, like popcorn, which is exactly the sort of inspiration a Fang Pokemon would have. Fang's whole concept is that he throws around popcorn. But what about if he made the popcorn in this Pokemonified form? Binturongs are honestly pretty scary animals, so I definitely cutened it down for this one. I even gave it a fluffy tail akin to popcorn. I originally wanted it to literally just be popcorn, but on further thinking, Pokemon would probably not do that. So now it's just a fluffy tail that looks like popcorn and is really hot like popcorn as well. His hands look like popcorn bags that he just busted open, and his ears come down to look like Fang's hair. There's a fire atop his head used for his attacks where he ignites his tail and whips you around with it. So here is Binturong, a fire normal type. Binturong even has a signature move, Corn Fu, just like Fang's gadget, and it does the same thing too. Binturong ignites its tail and hot pieces of fluff scatter around the battlefield. It's basically fire-type toxic spikes. Now for Draco, but I did something a little bit different with this one. Draco's defining feature is that he rides a dragon or dinosaur. I'm not even sure. So how about we just combine Draco with a dinosaur? With his dinosaur. It took a while to get the face right, but I eventually got it. This Pokemon will be very, very similar to Skeledirge in that it's a musician, but it's also a sort of dragon reptilian-like animal. But this one's just like a dragon. And it's not just a dragon, because it also has elements of an electric guitar, which is what Draco plays. That's why his tail looks like that. And his body's sort of built like Draco's guitar, but that's a little bit of a stretch. He also is a fire type because Draco's main attack is that he does fire stuff. I was originally thinking about adding Draco's armor and helmet into this dragon dinosaur thing, but I felt like this idea was better. It was basically the same colors as Draco's dinosaur, except this one had red and black. You know, because rock, like the genre, works with black and red for the fire, so it all works out. And I gave it 2 strings, so I would assume it plays itself like a guitar, I guess. So here's the fire dragon type Dracord, and I'm sure he would steal Torch Song from Skeledirge. Now for Bongaroo's evolution, which is of course based on Janet. I thought that turning her little jumping rocket thing into a real rocket, like how Janet flies using her super, would be pretty cool. However, this one was probably the hardest one to make because it took 3 fully colored iterations, and the last one was the one that I stuck with. And can we talk about how weird kangaroos are, bro? They don't look cute at all. Like, how do you even draw them stylized without it looking like either a bunny or a horse? Just look at a kangaroo for a second and like tell me what you see. Cause I just see a horse bunny. Now for Janet part 2, I guess. I just made it smaller basically, and I gave it a pose that would make its rocket look more like apart from it. I don't know. In the last ones, it was kind of hard to see the rocket, but now I think you can see it a little clearer. And I even took it off for a little. But that kind of like destroyed the entire like point of the character, but it's fine. And now that I gave it a tinier rocket, more akin to the character, and here is Soru. Another normal flying type, a Pokemon that I may add to my dream region in a little. Alright, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys liked it. And I'll put a poll up in the community tabs to ask what the next video would be. So bye, sub and like.